What is up, guys? It is me, Jordan, I do believe. I don't know, check my YouTube channel name if you want to find out. I'm not entirely sure what it is. Today, we are going back to a time in which I used to do commentary videos. And this is what pretty much made my channel, and I branched off to do other different types of videos. We're going to be doing a little bit of backtracking in this video, and going back to those good old commentary video days. And obviously that means we're doing a commentary video. Alright, and this will be on a topic that is kind of big, only slightly. And that is net neutrality. So go ahead, buckle up, fasten all your seatbelts, eat some popcorn, whatever you want to do, and get ready for the ride. So about 4 or 5 months ago, a large problem had arisen for the US government. Now, most of you guys will probably know what I am referring to, but the sad part is the fact that a large amount as well don't. The problem that we've been having is net neutrality, and it's very confusing to people, but to start out, let's just get this straight. Net neutrality isn't bad. The repeal of net neutrality is what's bad. The FCC is trying to take away net neutrality, not implement it, and that's probably the most confusing part that people have trouble understanding, and just, they get it twisted. Who is the FCC and what is net neutrality, you ask? Well, let's start from the beginning and catch you up. So, net neutrality, or known as the open internet, it is the principle that internet service providers, also known as ISPs, should give consumers access to all legal content and applications on an equal basis, without favoring some sources or blocking others. This was an act that Obama put forth during his years of presidency. The act was implemented under Title II of the Communications Act of 1934. It essentially makes it to where ISPs can't charge you extra if you want to use the service of a competing business, or they can't slow down on things such as Netflix and say, well, hey, you're losing a lot of business because we slowed your speed down to our consumers, and if you want them back, you have to pay us. It's not good. But also, crazily enough, this actually did happen and was a major reason for the Net Neutrality Act. Okay, so fast forward 2 years, give or take 2.5, and everything has been amazing for the internet. It's never been better. Except that there's now a guy who wants to make it somehow more free and open by restricting something that's fully free. No, I'm not a mathematician, but I learned from my phone's battery that if something is at 100%, it really can't go higher. This man's name, by the way, is Ajit Pai. This man has basically taken Indian tech support scammer to a national level, like literally. And it was all by planning on making the internet a cable subscription at this point. Ajit was appointed chairman of the FCC, and the FCC is the organization that controls just about anything involving communications. And since they pretty much so control the internet, you can imagine some sketchy things should happen with that much power. And it did. This December on the 14th, they will be voting to repeal net neutrality, and while that doesn't really sound scary, it is. You have no clue how much you will be affected by it, and so that you can see how much it will affect you, here's an article. You can go ahead and read all this, and whatever you feel like, but the thing that I will talk about from this article most importantly is the violations and stuff that they cause with the amendments. There have been thousands of protests in the times since they announced this, and they have all the right to protest. I mean, after all, it's in the amendment. Oh wait, hold on. They don't care about the amendments or what we say? Yes, that is correct. Getting rid of net neutrality is a violation of the First Amendment, which is freedom of speech. And some say the Fifth Amendment, but not as many people include that one, so we'll just focus on the First Amendment. With the repeal of net neutrality, ISPs will control everything with the internet. It's like the equivalent of corporations taking over a country, except this is the internet. Some would argue that an internet is a little more dangerous than a country. And if an ISP sees something that targets them in a mean-spirited way, or a picture of their high school bully, they can just delete it. That really sounds like a violation of freedom of speech. With these massive corporations running the internet, and I mean like literally running it, they can do whatever they want because they're now in charge of the thing that we, the taxpayers, developed. The repeal is practically inevitable. We have absolutely no say in it because this isn't a voting matter. Not even the people that work for the FCC are elected officials. They were appointed by the infamous President Trump, and the FCC is a non-government funded organization. So democracy is out the window. I'm now down to my last few points I want to make about this because I want to try and keep this video as short as I possibly can. Number 1, this is blatant fascism, and the American government is slowly drifting further and further away from democracy and more towards a dictatorship. Number 2, this is not 100% guaranteed that it will fully pass. After the voting, the court systems will decide its legitimacy in the legal system. So the courts, the legal system, is our last hope. And with all of the backlash and threats to Ajit's life, I say we have a good hopeful chance at the courts denying it. And number 3, stock up on music, videos, whatever you need, because internet bills are going to go through the roof. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm sorry if you didn't care much for the whole serious aspect of this video, but we as citizens of the US are voicing our concerns because we're genuinely scared of the outcomes of this. It will affect us largely in more ways than just amendments being violated. It will affect people financially. It'll put a lot of businesses out of business because they'll be forced to pay extra for many other things just to like have people notice them on the internet. But go ahead and press that like button and let's get me to 1 million subscribers before net neutrality goes away, so that I feel accomplished before I have to move to the frontier and establish my own village away from package prices for the internet. Yeah.